Well, we gotta say, it was kind of crazy that you guys were talking about dogs in the chat because we had our dogs here the whole time. My wife is out of town and she usually watches this little one here. And this little one can be a little bit rambunctious, and I felt bad about creating her. So she is joining us for the show today. This is Leia, and that is Yoki. That is Zay's big girl.
Big girl. And then I got a new addition to the family. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have Bella. This is the newest addition to the fam. She's very tired, and she's groaning like an old man.
Oh, yeah.
That's Leia. Yeah, she's your size. Well, you're her size right now, almost.
She's like the
for people that want to know what breed she is, I found out she's not only a Great Dane, she's mixed with Irish Wolfhound, so she's going to be fucking massive.
Yeah, she's going to be gigantic.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm going to go lay her back down real quick, and we'll get started with the show.
Bye, Yoki. We're not a dog hotel, Migsy, no. Well, how are you guys doing today? Glad to see you guys stopping by. Yeah, we had a little bit of a postpone. We had to do the show today, but maybe more people can show up because it's later in the evening. We'll see. We got some exciting topics to talk about today. Things related to what we've talked about in the past and some new things as well. Before we get into it, we did get a super chat from Robert Blums for $3. Thank you for the super chat and for supporting the show.
Yes, sir.
Robert says back pay from Rebel. LOL. Well,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Rebel. Yeah, we're super excited to get into the show and talk about some new things that we've seen in the news. It's been a pretty crazy week. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got some regulars in here. Let's see. We've got Tariq is here, Matt is here, Star-Lord 7 is here. Preston has been working on the arms cam. Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, look at you.
We've got Richard here, Migsy. You know, we got a lot of familiar names, so we're excited to get back into it and get on with the show. First up, this one is interesting. Okay, so something that came up, we read this article in the Hollywood Reporter. You can basically read all the articles that we read for what we're reporting on today in the description. You could click any of those links if you're interested. Mm-hmm. The first thing that we get from the Hollywood Reporter is in regards to the Sony Venomverse or Spider-Verse, as some people say. It's like the adjacent Spider-Verse. So the rights between Sony and Marvel and the Spider-Man universe is a little bit odd. Essentially, Sony has the rights to the Spider-Man character and characters in films and maybe not TV, but they have some kind of agreement where they have to do a movie once every so many years with the Spider-Man or Spider-Man characters to continue holding their those rights, I believe. And so we've seen them pump out a lot of Spider-Man movies. Then they started pumping out some Spider-Man adjacent character movies, such as the Venom movies, which personally I really enjoyed. As you can tell, I got Venom up there, but he's from the game. Behind the Marvel sign is actually the Venom from the movies that they did. And, I thought the first one was great. You can see Carnage from the second one right there. I thought the second one was really good too. Not as good as the first. And the third one, it honestly disappointed me. I'm not going to lie. However, those aren't the only movies that Sony did for the Spider-Verse characters. And there are particularly other ones, much like the third Venom movie with me, that disappointed a lot of people. Sony released the Morbius movie. They released the Madam Web movie. These were movies that were also the Kraven the Hunter movie. These were also movies that were all part of the Sony adjacent Spider-Verse type of films. And they really didn't do too well at the box office. In fact, they continued to decline with their box office projections. So, people were wondering where are they going from here? Are they going to continue it? The third Venom movie seemed to kind of have wrapped up the whole Venom situation, but leaving a little bit hint for more. However, let me remove this super chat real quick. However, from the Hollywood Reporter, according to them, Sony Pictures chairman and CEO Tim Rothman confirms the studio is planning a fresh reboot to the Spider-Man universe after the franchise's string of box office disappointments. Like we said, the Hollywood Reporter. Here's what I got to say about this. I've not seen Madam Web. In fact, you got to do something wrong if I'm not going to watch your comic book movie. And as you can tell, I'm a huge comic book fan. I have a whole panel up here dedicated just for Spider-Man and another Spider-Man right there. So I'm into Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. And the Venom movies I love from Sony. However, the third Venom movie didn't like that much. I went to go see Morbius. I didn't think it was as bad as what everybody was saying, but I did not really enjoy it. I don't think it was that good. Madam Web came out. I was excited when I heard they were doing something like this. The trailers were awful. Everyone said it was awful, so I didn't even go to watch it. Kraven the Hunter is a character I really enjoy, but I was starting to hear the same things about it, and you know what? I didn't even want to waste my time. And if you're releasing movies that somebody like me, who is willing to spend a decent amount of money on comic book movies, comic book figures and things like that, even I won't go out to go watch the movie, not because of any spite or any anger. I just believe what people say enough to where I feel like I really am not going to enjoy it. So I have no interest in going out to go see these movies. It's literally gotten to the point where I'm not even interested in it. It doesn't cross my mind. I don't have any excitement for it. Even when it's on streaming, I don't click to watch it because, unfortunately, as you grow older, as many people know, especially our audience, because you guys are usually a little bit more mature, a little bit older than us, time starts to become a valuable asset. And you don't want to waste your time watching things that everybody says is awful. Well, Sony seems to understand this concept, and now they're saying they're going to reboot it. I think this is the right decision because they were getting bad. Mm-hmm. But, they've continued to make bad movies in this universe after seeing that the previous one wasn't received well. So they've had opportunities to change it up. And I'm just worried, okay, if you're going to reboot it, what are you going to do differently? Have you learned from your mistakes? Because you have made multiple movies that weren't doing so well. Are you just going to kind of roll the dice on a new refresh? I mean, I'm curious as to what their plan is because they didn't seem to correct any bad decisions they were making prior, at least in my opinion. So you can't just wipe the slate clean and just do the same thing again. It's not going to get anywhere. So what are their plans? Are they going to have something good in store? I heard they were thinking of, or they are planning on making a Venom animated movie. And they got the Final Destination Bloodlines. That's another topic. We didn't get to it, but they got the Final Destination Bloodlines director to direct it. And they might be doing it in the same kind of animation as Into the Spider-Verse. Now, Sony has made good Spider-Man movies, but they've not made good adjacent Spider-Man movies aside from the first Venom, essentially. So I don't know. I mean, are they going to try to lean more into the animation side of things? I'm worried. I don't know where they're going to go, what their plan is, because rebooting something can be the right step, but it's not the answer if you're not going to make any corrections. You can't just add a new cast and have a great movie. So I'm going to need to see more from them that can show me that they're going to handle this reboot better. Zay, what are your thoughts after hearing this? How familiar are you with these movies? And do you think that this is a good decision? Where do you stand?
Yeah, so I will say I'm not really familiar with anything of the adjacent movies. I've seen the first Venom mostly. And it wasn't like I stopped watching because I didn't enjoy it. I I think it was on, and I just happened to be watching it, just never finished it. So I've never really seen any of these adjacent Spider-Man films. I've seen the main Spider-Man films, seen all the main Spider-Man films. I love the main Spider-Man films. I think they're great across the board. Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, all of them, they've been great. So I agree with your sentiment, because that was the first thing I thought about when they're saying we're just going to reboot with a fresh new cast. That doesn't just wipe away, like, your ability to make a good film isn't
a fresh new cast, but
they're new people. But
right.
But that doesn't, a fresh reboot doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's going to be that's the magic fix. You have to be able to write a good film. You have to be able to produce a quality film production. I find it's weird to me that, I mean, I don't know, Allison, I'm no director, producer, or anything in the film industry, but it's so weird that they're able to produce solid Spider-Man films, but then when they try to branch off into these other areas, it's like they just, I don't know, like they just lose track. I haven't seen Morbius, I haven't seen Kraven the Hunter, I haven't seen Madam Web.
I've seen a lot of what people say about it.
Holy shit. Well, I didn't watch them because I heard about how bad they were. I was like, wow. And I think Morbius was the first one I was like really interested in. And I was like, okay, people didn't really love it. And I heard about Madam Web, and I heard about Kraven the Hunter, or vice versa, whatever order they came in. And Kraven the Hunter did the worst. I think it did like 60 million globally, which is insane. That's like nothing. That's literally, and the budget was 100 million. That's like crazy net loss. So it's insane. That's insane. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think, I don't want to say just leave it alone, right? Because the Spider-Man universe is super cool. There's a lot of very cool villains, a lot of cool, heroes, crossovers, characters just in that universe. Superhero films are awesome because of that, because they span such a vast like opportunity and like chance. Plus, it gives people that, obviously we get to see major, actors and actresses take on these bigger roles, but it's also awesome when you get to see a maybe up and coming actor or actress that gets a chance, and that movie is like what launches them, into like, listen, Tom Holland is a great actor. I didn't really know anything about Tom Holland until I saw him in Spider-Man, if I'm being completely honest. And once I did, I was like, holy shit, this kid's awesome. And then I went and watched more of his films, and we watched, oh my God, I can't remember when he was super young.
The Impossible.
And we're like, wow, he was been good since he was a kid. Holy cow. So I don't know. I don't want to say leave it alone and just like let it die like that, because that's always sad too. It sucks when something doesn't go well that you want to see and they just kind of abandon it. But at what point do we just cut ties and say, maybe not? I get it, maybe taking a break, and maybe they go back to the drawing board for a little bit. Like you said, they're going to take a little bit of a break or whatever it was. I think I don't know how long a break really would be, how time wise, but maybe that will give them time to kind of, I don't know, go read some comics on the characters and really like try to like, I don't know, mull it over in your brains and really lock in on making a very high quality, good performing film. Again, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a walk in the park to do, especially nowadays with so many classics that exist in the world that Cam and I have seen a shit ton on the YouTube channel.
But they've shown the capacity. Sony's made good movies before.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know what it is. But they've been missing. They're missing the mark on it. I will say, I will do my due diligence and go watch these other films, the branch offs, the Venom trilogy.
I won't watch Madam Web or Kraven. I have no desire.
I just want to see, honestly, I kind of just want to see how bad it is. The Venom trilogy I knew did pretty well. That's sad to hear that the third one you weren't a fan of, because that's the like final dance or last dance, right?
Yeah, the last dance. They consecutively got worse to where the first one was, I actually love it. The second one was like, yeah, that was good. I don't know if I'll watch that one again, but I enjoyed it. And then the third one was like, I don't know if I ever want to watch this again. I don't really feel like I liked it that much.
Did the second one have Carnage?
Yeah, that was the second one.
Okay, so you know what? I have seen the second one, and I will agree that even though I hadn't seen all the first one, I haven't seen the third one. I will say I was a little disappointed because I was excited because I was like, oh, Carnage. Like, I've read about Carnage. Because I love the symbiote stuff after you had like gave me so much info on them. So yeah, I was a little disappointed with that, but they sound like they still did leagues better and more leagues better than the other 3 films.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know, man. I mean, I cross our fingers, I guess. Hopefully they're able to produce something that maybe is a bounce back in this Spider-Man universe and, reignites that want for them to continue expanding. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Because my end.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this decision? Do you care at all? There might be topics that we go through where you don't give a crap. Let us know if you don't care. Do you think that they should just shut it down? Are you the opposite? Did you thoroughly enjoy these Spider-Man adjacent movies that they've made? And are you sad to see the reboot happen? Are you sad to see that universe that was being built go? Let us know what your thoughts are, and we can go through a couple right now. Let's see. We've got... let's see. Richard says, I didn't mind Craven the Hunter.
See, that's what I was curious about, was maybe I wouldn't necessarily mind them. I just want to know, though. I got to experience it. Mrs.
Snapester says, okay, I'll admit it. I didn't even give Madam Web a chance. Fool me once, fool me twice, but not a third time. That's fair. Star-Lord 7 says, I like Madam Web for reasons unknown. Okay. Let's see. We've got XFL Lexicon. Matt says, I thought the Tom Holland films did well. Did I miss something? No. I think we're referring to, because the Tom Holland films are a movie made from an agreement between Sony and Marvel Studios. The other movies Marvel Studios had nothing to do with, as far as I'm aware. And those are like Spider-Man adjacent. So
maybe that's the problem.
You would think so, but Into the Spider-Verse and Beyond and Across the Spider-Verse are some of the best Spider-Man movies ever made, and that's just Sony. And also,
wow, really?
Wow,
and damn,
Spider-Man 2, all the Tobey Maguire movies are all
Sony,
and Andrew Garfield.
They have the capacity.
They have the capacity. Tom Holland Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, as far as I understand, are the only ones that are made from both Marvel Studios and Sony because they wanted to have them in the Marvel universe. Mixie says, I just found it out of place they did Madam Web first instead of like a Spider-Gwen or even Spider-Woman. Honestly, maybe a little bit out of place, but I don't mind if they want to do. They were in talks to do a. I forgot, some random. He's some random like Dia de Muerte character wrestler or something in the Spider-Man universe, and they were gonna have Bad Bunny play him. That was like all lined up.
Really?
But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't care if they announce, like Squiggly Man. If you make a good movie, you make a good movie. If you want to do Madam Web first, I don't mind, but don't like make it bad, or like put some more effort into it. Let's see. Star-Lord 7 says it's Morbin time. Yeah, that was a big one. Have you seen those everywhere?
Oh, I'm sorry. What? It's Morbin time. Was that a line from the movie?
No, but it's it's how everybody like talked about the movie because they didn't understand what they just watched, or they didn't like enjoy it. So they would be like, oh yeah. I love the part where he said it's Morbin time and morbed all over the Morbius. like that's what a lot of people said about the movie.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh yeah, I love the part in the movie where he morbed into a bat and morbed all over the Morbin station.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's funny. It's like a meme. It became a meme basically.
It became a meme. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Kohler says, best part of your live chat is Cam is holding a pug. I love pugs. Yeah, anyone who gets a pug ends up loving them. They're quite adorable. Even though I was not a fan of them prior to getting this little munchkin, but they grow on you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for letting us know your comments. You guys can leave a comment down below after this live stream ends, or even if you're available to now, you can do that too. Let us know your thoughts, but we can check them out later. Zay, do you want to take on this next topic?
Yes, I do. Also, side note, real quick, I would love to see Penny Parker appear in like a live action, like just because like the mech suit and stuff.
The mech suit,
yeah. Also, my favorite, arguably rivals character, but that's neither here.
He is in Spider-Verse.
Yeah, in both of them, right? Isn't she? Didn't she appear in the second one? I thought
I think she showed up at the very end of the season.
Okay, not in anything crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, this next article, we're going to be talking about now. We did mention that we actually talked about this last week, or was it the week before? Kind of briefly talked about the casting for it.
We talked about this. I think it was last week.
Okay.
I think it was. I can double check real quick.
Yeah. Well, Cam double checks that. If you're familiar with the studio A24 and you've been keeping up with some recent news regarding A24 and my man Chiwetel Ejiofor, or Chewy as I called him because I butchered his name the first time I had to say it on an episode.
Oh no, this was in episode 4, so it was like 3 weeks ago.
Oh wow. So okay, wow, these episodes blur together.
Yeah.
This article comes from the Hollywood Reporter. I should say A24 horror movie Backrooms adapting Kane Parsons' YouTube series, and it gets its ominous first trailer. Now, before Cam had actually sent me this article to kind of take a look at, I had seen this trailer. It did pop up on my feed. I naturally clicked on it. The Backrooms it started out as a YouTube series, and it's actually a game that you can play that Cam and my other buddy and I have played. It's very eerie, very scary, very confusing.
We play it on your stream, too.
Yes.
If you want to check out the stream sometimes. We'll probably play more of it.
Probably. We played it not that long ago. So they are adapting Kane Parsons' YouTube series. And this trailer, I will say, when I saw the trailer, I wasn't necessarily... I don't want to say I was disappointed in it, but it was just definitely a teaser. So it was very much a teaser. And I feel like if you don't know anything about the Backrooms, it's kind of confusing. You should go check out the teaser if you haven't, because if you don't have any knowledge of what the Backrooms is, it kind of doesn't really give you too much information.
Right.
It's very brief. It's about a minute long with Chewy voiceovering in it. And Cam, if you want to pull up the quote from said article. Again, this article was from the Hollywood Reporter. Backrooms is inspired by Parsons' viral YouTube horror series that has amassed more than 190 million views. A lot of views. That is a lot of views. And not only that, shout out to Parsons because Parsons is only 20 years old and has become the youngest filmmaker in A24's history, which is an amazing feat. I hear and
that's from the Hollywood Reporter, guys. Again, the link is in the description. Check it out.
Read the article, link in the description. Sorry, it sounded like a fight was going on. She's probably getting put in her place. I'm excited for this film. Backrooms is like the universe. I mean, I don't know, like however you want to describe it. Of the Backrooms is crazy. There's like all these different. They're called entities, monsters, etc. that exist. And one of the things that stuck out to me too in this article, and it was a quote. I'm going to quote it here from Markiplier. Actually, it was pulled from Markiplier because they mentioned the success of Iron Lung, which was another video game adaptation movie that was made by Markiplier, a YouTuber, just like Parsons. And it was basically what Markiplier said was that they need to topple the stigma against YouTube, where, once it becomes normalized that a YouTuber can do these types of things, it just needs to become more normalized, basically. And I never really had thought about that, but I thought back to like all the critiques and everything of Iron Lung and like what people were saying when it was first being developed. And I'm sure that there's probably the same feelings about this is this dude's a YouTuber. Like you're going from YouTube, which is usually smaller scale videos or whatever. Markiplier usually just did like playthroughs to creating a full-fledged film or working on a full-fledged film. Very big. That's a very big jump. But think about how you're judging a book by its cover. And again, Iron Lung was very successful. And so it's one of those things where, I feel like people try to judge based off of like whatever your past history is and like what you've done work-wise and are saying like, oh, but you could never do this. It's like, well, why not? And how many people maybe get turned off from ever trying to pursue stuff like this because there's that type of stigma. This film, I'm very excited for. James Wan's the producer on it. James Wan is fantastic.
And Sean Levy, who he did the Deadpool movies.
Oh, yes, which is interesting. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, he did do the Deadpool movies. That's an interesting person to pull in. just because Deadpool's more like funny, actiony.
Right.
So that'll be interesting. I'm super excited for this again because I've played the game several times. This thing is creepy. If they do it right, this could be a very, very good film. However, the Backrooms is like, the story is very like, it's very weird and like dense and like time warpy kind of feeling and everything. I mean, in the game, you walk around, you literally get lost so easily. I'm just wondering what the story is going to be based on. I know they said the premise is kind of, they find a door in the basement of like a furniture store
showroom. Yeah.
So, and it's like how, like in the voiceover, Chewie mentions like this place creates the rooms and, you know, etc. It builds them. More remembers them, the less it does. And so I'm curious with that type of voiceover, how much does he know about it? How does he get that information? Like, horror movie stuff like this are always interesting to see. But I have a feeling that pulling in Parsons here was definitely the correct move, because he's going to have the essence of what the Backrooms is and what people love about it. Again, 190 million views amassed on it, a plethora of games, not just one. There's like hundreds of different versions of this game. So I'm excited to see it. I think they'll be able to do it justice bringing Parsons in. And it releases theatrically on May 29th. I'm assuming this year, because they didn't put a year at the end. So I will definitely be in the theaters to go see it. Cam, obviously you've played the games with me, so you know a little bit about the Backrooms. Do you know anything about the YouTube series itself? Have you watched anything on it? And what are your feelings about it when you saw the teaser? Are you excited for it, you know, or what'd you think of the teaser?
Yeah, I'm excited for this film more than I expected to be. The fact that they got Chiwetel Ejiofor involved blows my mind. However, I think this is being set up for something good. I haven't seen the YouTube series, but if it was that popular, then he probably did something right. And if they're getting him to direct the film as well, and he's and it's A24, I mean, I think this is really set up for something good. I think that this first like teaser was good because it doesn't tell you much about what's going on in the movie. It just like shows you like it's happening and like it's coming. Fair. And just introducing you to the idea of like there are these back rooms that are weird. And if anybody wants to know kind of like, I know very little about the lore, but I can tell you about like the experience of playing the game is so much fun because you run through these back rooms and you're like trying to solve tasks in order to move on to the next room. But like sometimes they're levels, you don't know how to get out. But every time there's monsters. Yeah. And guys, when I tell you these monsters are absolutely terrifying, I mean, they are like, when you're there in the game and you like come around a corner and there's this like man made of wires, just
the wire man, a wire boy, yeah.
or there's this like smile in the air that like if you look at it, you go insane. And like the game is so much fun, and they have a lot of like things to work with. When you die in the game, you have to like in some versions you have to like find the door to enter back to life or something. You
go like into purgatory base.
You go into this purgatory lot.
You work for like a company basically that's trying to map out the back rooms, and it's like but there's like infinite levels and infinite entities, and there's like rules apparently like in certain rooms. Like the lore is deep, so deep dive that if you want to. You'll have plenty of content to go through.
But I think with the people involved and with how it's being set up, and I think, and with all the material they have to work at, I'm excited. I thought that the first teaser, you know what it did to me? It made me feel like they understand the back rooms, you know? Like they could have made it been like a team of 4 goes into a room and who knows what happens.
Right,
but they're like the back rooms is its own entity.
Right.
Like they're treating this seriously. And I love that. So I think I'm really excited about that. And I don't know if Markiplier was telling this to the Hollywood Reporter. I just want to make sure we have.
I don't know if he said it to the reporter or if it was some. I think it was pulled maybe after an interview about Iron Lung or something that they quoted. I think they were quoting him from an interview as what I want to say.
It was an interview with the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh, okay, cool. Perfect.
So perfect. Yeah, guys, it's interesting stuff. Check out the article. Let us know. Do you know what the Backrooms is? If you don't, Zay, do you think that they should go into the movie knowing nothing, or do you think that they should play the game before going into the movie? What or at least like learn a little bit about it?
I think they're going to treat this. I'm going to say they're going to treat this movie right. So I think you'd be fine going in without any information on it. I think if anything, maybe this movie will serve as like a taste of what it is and will drive people to be like, I want to know more about the lore. Like, well, like I think it'll leave some questions to be answered. I also wonder if this is going to open up for like multiple films.
Because I feel like this just would do better as a show.
Oh, a show would be good. A show would be good.
Better formatted for a show, you know? Like
it might end up getting adapted to a show at some point. I mean, you never know.
Do an episode a room, or you could do a season a room. Like,
ooh, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. Let's see what you guys have to say about this. Robert says, what makes me nervous about this is a show will not give us an appropriate thought of what they're trying to show us. A show will not give us an appropriate thought of what they're.
Oh, maybe maybe the teaser.
Oh,
because it is short. It's a minute. I mean, you kind of only
give you anything.
Barely a taste of it, but it's eerie. It's very eerie.
Listen, it's not going to be the last thing we see before. There's going to be an actual trailer. That's like a teaser trailer. There will be a trailer before this movie comes out. Let's see.
I know not of what they speak. Well, you'll have to go when they're blind.
Richard says, so it's a game about dark rooms, you say? And then Julesy says, dark room game. Do we get night vision goggles? No, I mean, we didn't make it very far. We got to like the second room. So maybe
it's such a hard game. So hard.
Yeah. Star-Lord says a movie about the back rooms. Oh shit. Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah, it's going to be good, I think.
Yeah.
Chewy bell, edgy floor. This is what Richard said.
Star-Lord also says, does Morbius and Madam Web come from the back rooms? Honestly, they should probably be shoved into the back room. Anyways, listen, guys, what are your thoughts? Leave a comment down below. We're both excited for this. And I don't know, Zay, maybe this is something we should react to. Do you think we should react to this instead of like go watch it in the theater? Like,
I think that would be fun to react to. I'd be down I'd wait to do a reaction on it 100%. I would probably, I mean, if it gets a full theatrical release, we'll have to wait for it to stream, but I would basically shut off any social media so I don't have anything about it. I'd want to go dark.
It'll boom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that might be blowing up sometime soon here is the live action God of War series. And if any of you guys are regulars on the show, you know that we do a lot of reporting on the live action God of War series and all the developments and updates. Starting in our first episode of You Saw That Right, we talked about the casting of Ryan Hurst as Kratos. Well, we got another casting announcement today, and that is Ed Skrein is going to be playing Baldur. Now, if you're familiar with the game at all, you know that Baldur is a character who is heavily involved in the God of War Norse realm a lot, being one of the sons of Odin. And his kind of whole shtick is that he feels no pain. No pain and no pleasure. And according to this article from the Hollywood Reporter, they said he feels no pleasure, I believe, in there. I didn't know that, but I know he felt no pain.
Yeah. Oh, I've literally just fought him the other day because I just started the God of War game. Yeah. All he says, the first line he says is that he's like, I can't feel any of this, basically, after you engage with him for a minute. So
yeah, and he's very strong. And they get Ed Skrein to play this guy. Now, if you don't know who Ed Skrein is, he is if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, he played the first version of he was the pretty boy that gets with Daenerys. and they recasted him in going forward, because then he got a role in doing being the villain of the first Deadpool movie, which is really, really, really interesting, because if I remember correctly, and by golly I do, I've seen the movie quite a few times now, his whole shtick in the first Deadpool movie was he doesn't feel pain. That was his
shit.
That was the
I didn't
whole
realize that
shtick. So he's gonna be he plays Francis or whatever his name is, Ajax, in the Deadpool movie, and his whole shtick is he doesn't feel pain. So I mean, I'd be remiss, or I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think that they got the perfect person to play this role, because not only is he used to playing a character that feels no pain and is going to be doing that again, he's also got that, like, he can really give you that face of like, someone needs to stop this guy. Like, he's got this like this jawline, and this, like, he makes this like really, like, now I don't know how he'll be portraying Baldur, because Baldur isn't like that type of person, but if he can like bring that out in Baldur in some way, he's gonna get everybody to want to see Kratos just pound on him, and boy, am I excited for that. I think it's a great casting. I've enjoyed him in every performance he's in. He's already played a character. He's already played a villain who is not able to feel pain, and he's going to be playing what seems like, according to the Hollywood Reporter, from what I read, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but the major villain of the first season. And makes sense. Baldur is a heavily present villain in the game that you're playing. I won't say too much more than that. So Zay, because you've been playing the game, what do you think about this casting? Are you familiar? I know I know that you've seen him in Game of Thrones, because we watched it on the channel. He had a very short appearance in Game of Thrones because his he was recast after he took the Deadpool role. Apparently he's in the Jurassic Park movies as well, or the Rebirth Jurassic Park, at least one of the movies. Zay, what are your thoughts about this casting? How much do you know about Baldur? You having only played some of it right now. You're saying you've been in the first fight, which is iconic. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it.
It is.
So what are your thoughts about this whole reporting, this whole news?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had to remember who Baldur was at first. When they said Baldur, I was like, Baldur, which one was that? Because in the beginning, his name gets mentioned like very briefly. He's initially called the Stranger, basically. Is like the first, like, because you don't know who he is. Now, I'll say off first look for the casting, Ed Skrein has that face, like you said, that can make you hate him, like he's a very good villain, I think. Seeing him side by side with Baldur from the game, I think with the right, like, cosmetic work of, like, adding, like, a beard and stuff like that, stuff, you can obviously look a picture of him from the game if you want to, if you're interested, and, putting those tattoos on, I think he will be able to portray the role pretty well. It's just, I don't know, Baldur, it's the way, like, Baldur's like cadence and how he talks and his voice and stuff is very unique, I feel like. Again, he's like only the first major fight I basically had in the game. I'm a little bit further now, but I haven't seen him again, if he even comes back again. So it's gonna take some chops, it's gonna take some acting, but I think that Ed Skrein can do it 100%. I think it's also crazy that he played the villain in Deadpool 1, and the villain in Deadpool 1, I totally forgot, couldn't feel pain. So, yeah, I mean, you picked a perfect guy for it, 100%. I'm excited for this casting. I think that, just in general, God of War, they committed to 2 seasons for this show. It's one of the most popular video game franchises, I'm pretty sure, of all time. So I'm glad that they're giving it their all and really trying to cast. They're bringing in some big guns, bringing in some people that I think are going to fit these roles well and perform well. It has me excited, man. Every time we get news on God of War, it not only drives me to want to play the game even more because I'm in the middle of playing it, but it drives me to be like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to come out and get to see this adaptation. We've had great video game adaptations. We have bad ones. I'm not going to put my eggs in one basket and say that this is going to be an absolute banger, because I've seen ones that I've seen things come out that should have been bangers and be absolute trash, and I've seen vice versa. But I'm excited to see Ed Skrein take the big screen as Baldur. And I'm assuming, I wonder if we'll get Baldur in both seasons, or maybe he's only the villain for this first season. And it makes it interesting too, because God of War, again, it's an average length game. But if he's the villain for the first season, let's say that they're gonna there's a ton of that world. The world's massive in that. Like, there's a lot of characters and people you meet. So how many seasons are they gonna try to turn this into? I hope they don't. I'm glad they're not trying to cram too much into one season, it seems like. I mean, we have very little information.
For 2. So
right. I just don't want them to also try to overextend. I guess we'll have to see how many episodes it is, how long are the episodes, etc. I don't know, man. It's every time we get a little more information, now I'm getting a little bit more excited for it. Super, super stoked, hyped to see Ed Skrein take the screen opposite of Ryan Hurst, who I'm excited to see as well. And I can't wait to see what other casting gets done. And I can't wait for more information to come out regarding this series and what we're going to get.
Yeah. And also, guys, if that doesn't send goosebumps down your spine about him being a villain that can't feel pain. Another thing the Hollywood Reporter says about Baldur, and this is true if you've played the game, and I believe this is true even amongst the first fight in the game. Get a load of this. Above all else, he longs for an opponent that can truly match his prowess in battle, an opponent that can finally make him feel something. Okay,
I got goosebumps when you said it, because I remember the fight. He does say shit like that. He's like,
right?
He's like, you're not, he's like, I want you to make me. He was like, I was hoping you were stronger. I was hoping you made me feel something, etc.
Yeah. So not only does he not feel pain, he longs for it. He wants that to fight someone strong enough to just give him pain, make him feel something. And that creates a very compelling motivation for a character, let alone a villain. So this is going to be great news. Speaking of news let us know your thoughts about that. But we're going to take a look at your thought. Actually, let's take a look at your thoughts right now. John says Ed was a main character in the Battle of Midway movie. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Mixie says he's also a singer in a band I saw at a small club venue in Chicago about 10 years ago. Richard says maybe Kratos. Well, Baldur is the son of Odin and Freya. Oh, okay.
You know what's funny too about that? You know what's funny is that in Norse mythology, Baldur is he's the beloved, gentle, radiant god of light, and he's not this like villain, bloodlusting psychopath. He's like known as the beautiful, and he's known as the kindest and sweetest. Sure.
Well, yeah, okay. But if you know anything about God of War, you start to realize that a lot of the gods are portrayed in their mythology much better than how they actually are.
Yeah.
Richard says maybe Kratos shouldn't have fought him, but take him out to dinner. I don't think that would have worked.
I don't know, maybe.
Mrs. Snapester says, yeah, the way he holds his chin up when he talks makes you want to punch it. So I understand what you're saying about him playing a good bad guy. Yeah, he can do that. He can make that. He can emulate that. Anyways, let us know your guys' thoughts about this casting. Do you like it? What are your thoughts about it? And now we're going to get into another topic surrounding God of War live action series. And that is, we got our first look. Now, we read this article on Variety. You can click it in the description below. You can actually see the picture there. We're going to bring up the picture here. We retrieved it from Variety. And they seem to have retrieved it from Leah Gallo / Prime. And this is interesting. So we get our first look. It's going to be of Kratos and Atreus. We talked about in the videos, like, how are they going to look? Or they, how is it going to seem? But we get Ryan Hurst, and I think his name is Callum as Atreus, and Ryan Hurst as Kratos. And here it is, guys. Boom. Look at that.
Bang.
Awesome. I mean, that is, talk about accuracy. My gosh. They got the paint. They got the suit. I mean, it looks like you ripped it straight out of the video game. Now, there's a little uncanniness to it because we're seeing real humans. We're not seeing like
something off about it just slightly because it's a real person. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying.
But if we're seeing it live and moving, I think it's going to be easier to digest. But yeah, this looks great. The set design looks great. The costume designs look great. I believe this is Kratos. I believe this is Atreus. One of my biggest concerns was that even both of us thought, like, does he have the look of Atreus? Actually, I feel like that was my concern.
That was but I will say, now I'm going to pivot a little bit on my last thing. Because they had a picture where he had the hair, like the more pointed hairstyle. And that's a picture I'd seen, like maybe a mock-up or whatever it was. And I was like, oh yeah, he looks like... Here, it doesn't look like he necessarily has the same hairstyle that Atreus does have. So that is throwing me a little bit. But I still think it's a good fit. I feel like the hair's got to get adjusted, but...
Sure. Yeah, and that might be something people talk about. I think they moved the needle for me to agreeing with his casting more. Okay. I was like, I don't know how this kid is going to look like Atreus, but with the outfit, with being next to Kratos, it doesn't look like the character Atreus in the game, but he looks like he could be a version of Atreus.
Okay.
It's not like I don't see it. It's like, okay, this is a kid. Kratos is teaching him. He looks like he looks like he's got personality and like the costume work. So I'm buying it. I'm in. I'm digging this. I think after seeing this, I'm so excited to see the Odin and the Thor and now Baldur. I think that this is an awesome first look. A great first look. Zay, I know you kind of put in your thoughts as well, but expand a little bit. What are your thoughts about this first look? Does it get you more excited for the show? Does it make you less excited for the show? I know we kind of talked about the uncanniness of it because they're people. How does that feel, especially as someone who's currently playing the game right now? What are your thoughts about this first look?
No, I think this is a fantastic first look. I think Hurst looks... out of the two, Hurst looks better in my opinion. I think Hurst absolutely, they did justice for Kratos. I shared my sentiments on Callum and like the adaptation. I think it's fine. I'm like not mad about it. Again, I think just adjust the hair a little bit. Could also be the angle that the picture is being shown from. But seeing him with the bow, seeing like this scene right here, I literally can look back at like one of the early parts of the game where you are in a similar situation where like, they're hunting. I'll just say in case people haven't played the game. And the landscape behind them also fits so well. Like this first look looks great. I think all around it is encapsulating what I've seen from the game so far. Now, how are they going to do when you start to expand the game? You start to get a little bit more wackier environments and like crazier stuff going on. I guess that'll have to be seen. But between the casting so far in this first look, I'm excited. This is going to be, I'm hoping that this is going to be a very well done adaptation. Again, having, Skrein as playing Baldur with these two, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I kind of wish we could get a first look at Skrein as Baldur soon. I want to see him. Yeah, so I can't wait. Or even just more first looks at like Olafsson as Thor, or, Mandy as Odin, like all these other, we have so many people cast already, and the cast is looking great. Everything seems to be pulling together. It seems like there's been a lot of care and thought going into the development of this, as it should. If you're going to book it for 2 seasons off the rip, you should definitely be doing your damnedest to make sure it looks the part and feels the part. There is that slight uncanniness, like you said, because you're going from seeing these digitally created characters to real life people doing it. So it almost feels, it's going to be weird to say this, it feels AI generated, but because it like is like slightly off. You're like, well, that's not
an offness to it. Yeah.
But it looks awesome. And I think
it'll be better when they're moving, like,
100%. Yeah. And I can't wait for us to get like our first trailer for it. I want to hear like Ryan Hurst as Kratos. I want to hear that voice. I want to see, that's when you really start to get a feel for what's going to be going on, what's going to happen. And I It'll be a ride. I hope it does well. 2 seasons. I want to be locked in. I'm grinding these games, so I'm done with them by the time this show comes out. I don't know. I can't remember if we got a release date for the show necessarily. Nothing was mentioned in the article, at least release wise.
Yeah, I don't know when it's coming out. I mean, we might have read something at some point.
I forget. But if it's not, I mean, maybe end of this year. Looks like if they're already getting into maybe next year, probably next year,
probably beginning of next year. I would say spring of next year, probably.
So you'd have more knowledge on that than I would. I don't know much about film. You know more about film than me. So
shooting now, depending on the effects, the most of the time is going to take place in post production when they're adding effects like the fight scenes, the CGI, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably going to be spring of next year would be my guess.
Okay. Yeah. So I just looked real quick. Yeah. There's nothing official. They're saying 2027, possibly 2028. I hope not. I don't want to wait that long. But I'm excited. I hope other people are. If you haven't played the games and you're a gamer, you should definitely check them out. I've had a blast. I've been playing those on my stream on the weekdays. Make sure you check it on out. Stream most of the weekdays. I've been having a blast with the game so far. The story's really fun. They have a lot to work with. I also love stuff based in mythology because I love all mythologies. I think stuff like that's super cool. So I can't wait to see what we get from this, and I can't wait to see the end result. And I'm hoping the first season leaves us like just itching for the second season, and see where we go from there.
One of my favorite lines of the game, it's just because it's funny, is you've already heard it if you've already fought Baldur. It has nothing to do with Baldur, but it was before Baldur shows up, and it kind of describes their chemistry perfectly. And basically, Kratos is taking Atreus out to go hunting, and he's like, "We're going to hunt," and he's like, Atreus is like, "Where are we going? What Atreus is like, "What are we hunting?" And he's like, "Deer," and he's like, "Okay, where do we go?" And he's like, "In the direction of the deer." Yeah, it was so funny,
dude. It is like, again, not giving away too much. I won't, not really, but how like their chemistry like that in the beginning, and like even in the beginning of the game, seeing how their chemistry is developing is very cool. It's a very, very cool. I don't want to spoil anything for background because I'm sure they'll go over the whole situation that's going on in the story, but that's what I think adding to the game. So that's going to show a lot there. We're going to get a lot if they have that chemistry. If Hurst and Caleb can really show that on screen, then I think this will be a fantastic show. So,
all right. Well, what are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited about this? Do you think it's a good first look? Have you played the game? Are you excited about, well, we kind of already talked about Ed Skrein, but how do you think it's coming along? Are you going to tune in right when it comes out? Are you going to wait to hear what people's thoughts are? Let us know. Hey, down in the comments down below. What? I know. Let's see what you guys have to say right now. Starlord7 says, "Pointy stick goes into the other guy." I think that might have been a line from the game. I'm not sure. Richard says, "Do we know who plays Freya?" Geez, these comments are moving fast. Do we know who plays Freya?
Don't know. We've gotten Heimdall, we've got Heimdall, we've gotten Thor, we've gotten Odin, we've gotten Mimir, we've gotten Brock and Sindri. Oh, I didn't even realize we had Brock and Sindri. That's awesome. We have Baldur and we have Kratos and Atreus. So no, we don't have Freya, or at least hasn't been announced yet.
Okay. Julesy says, "Never played Baldur's Gate or God of War, but played Dragon Age. Seems similar. Baldur's Gate is probably similar to Dragon Age, maybe, but God of War is nothing like Baldur's Gate. They're not remote.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, they're not even close. But they're all great though. I will say that, but they're not the same."
Ethan says, "I'm gonna wait a bit. I think that's fair." Let's see. Richard says, "I'm still excited for the show." Oh yeah. Richard says Kratos looks good, but Atreus, he looks too young. And then he said, "I'm still excited for the show."
I think that's fair. I think that if you compare to the game, does look a little young, but
sure,
we'll see what happens.
But to be fair, a show, guys, if you know anything about shows or if you know anything about movies, when you cast a kid, they grow and they grow fast.
Stranger Things. They literally like.
I mean,
they also took years in between seasons or whatever. They took way too long. But
still, like when a kid reaches that age, it's over. Spike. Yeah. So if you cast Atreus right around that age, it's going to be season 2 or season 3 before he's as tall as Kratos, maybe, and it just becomes weird.
Yeah, he can't. He's gotta. Yeah, that's true. Or you have to recast him. Basically, you'd have to find a new kid.
Yeah, I think casting him a little bit young is probably a better idea. It gives him a little bit more time to continue that story. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for letting us know your thoughts about God of War. It's really interesting. The first looks, the new casting. I'm sure there'll be more. They're rolling out a lot of this information pretty early compared to when they plan on releasing the show.
Yeah,
so that's really interesting. I hope they don't lose the momentum and the hype that they're kind of building up right now. But yeah, leave a comment down below, all of your thoughts. And now Zay is going to bring us to our main and final topic of the show tonight.
The main and final topic. And wow, this topic brings us to a close on what was a dance of two titans. Or should I say a fight between two titans trying to swoon the lady, the queen, the princess. This article comes from Deadline. Massive merger confirmed. Paramount and Warner Bros. Reveal details of $110 billion deal. That's right. Netflix got up out of there. It is it's official. It's official, but not official, right? The merger is confirmed, as in that both parties agreed. Unanimously, by the way, both boards, which is kind of crazy. And even I believe both boards not only agreed, but there was people internally from Warner Brothers that said they felt it was sudden. The CEO even said it felt whiplashy, but necessary. Interesting, I think, because I feel like the CEO would be one of the most important heads to say yes or no on this topic. So you're the one that chose it. I don't know. Very interesting, but I don't know the ins and outs of what they do over there. But it is confirmed. Netflix is up on out of there. It looks like Paramount won this battle, or the war, I should say. However, nothing's set in stone yet. Again, this is only an agreement between the two companies. This is still going to be getting combed over. The Attorney General has a antitrust review that's going on. Writers Guild of America and other groups are voicing concerns about it. There's still pushback on it. Now, I know Cam and I have voiced our opinions on the Netflix, originally on it being Netflix seeming to acquire Warner Brothers, and being a little nervous, kind of feeling the same sentiments that have been voiced of, who's going to make sure they do these theatrical releases? Are they really going to hold those 45 days? Who's to say what if they stop? Who's going to enforce it? Paramount has came out to basically say, look, you have nothing to worry about. They are planning on doing 30 releases, 30 theatrical releases, I believe, annually. They're guaranteeing, at least, they're guaranteeing a 45-day theatrical release on it, or minimum 45-day window globally, is what it is. So, I mean, listen, they're doing their best to try to remove the concerns that were had about Netflix from this deal now. Say, you don't have anything to worry about. If I'm being honest, I think I'm a little more comfortable with Paramount having it, considering they do have a studio themselves. They have they have a want to release these things in theaters, whereas Cam and I had discussed Netflix, they don't have anything in that ballpark. They're a streaming service. They want you on your couch watching it at home. Right. They're not gaining anything necessarily from having theatrical releases. So to me, this feels like, as we had said before, the lesser of two evils. Again, I don't necessarily like a big company like Warner Brothers getting acquired by another large company. Paramount has a subscription service, doesn't it? For shows and stuff? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So right there, off the bat, I'm assuming they're going to up the price on that, which sucks for a consumer. Most likely.
Well, they might merge it, if they bring the two together and make it a lower price than having each, but maybe a higher price than you
having
would
separate
of, well, like higher than one of the subscriptions, but less than both.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because they all put it under one streaming platform.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. So
it would be Max and Paramount together.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's a hell of a catalog you're gonna get. I mean,
oh brother,
it's mentioned in Deadline more than 15,000 titles. I mean, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and not only that, but I didn't even realize the sports involved too. You got the NFL, the Olympics, PGA. I mean, college sports. There's a whole bunch. This is gonna combine into something crazy. It's a landmark merger that is happening in the film industry, in the cinema world. And again, I'm not necessarily like I'm not gonna say I'm gung ho like hooray, like yes we won, but I just think that if we were gonna have someone take over Warner Brothers, I would rather them than Netflix. I'm hoping they're not blowing smoke by saying that they're going to release 30 theatrical films and keep these windows and everything, and then pull the rug out anyway and be like, all right, bro, like, all right, so what was the point? However, who knows? I don't know. I mean, who's to say? It's up in the air now. This deal is expected to close third quarter of this year. As long as it gets all the approvals. I think it's like needs shareholder and regulatory or something like that. But I will say it did throw me. The one piece of this article that did throw me is, again, the CEO and these people saying that it felt very sudden and that it felt whiplashy, because it makes me wonder, like, what were the behind the scenes then of this choice? From what I got from the article, it seemed like Netflix basically walked away after Paramount sent this updated deal. They had 4 days to match it, but then
immediately they were like
declined. So I don't know. I don't know. So it's very interesting, very weird. Who's to say if another company goes up for sale like this, Netflix is probably going to be like, no, we're getting this one. You're not going to get this one from us. I don't know. But I guess congrats to Paramount. We'll see if it's a win for the consumer. I don't know. I mean, Cam, this is a one in our lifetime probably type of merger that we're seeing happening right now. Massive deal, $110 billion deal. What are your thoughts? We kind of voiced our opinions, and we've talked about this over several weeks as articles have popped up. It seemed like we both were on the side, more or less, of maybe having Paramount take over. After reading this and getting more information about the deal and, hearing Paramount's promises that they're making to the people, do you believe they're going to uphold that? Are you more confident because Paramount has an actual studio and they have cards in this game right now of having theatrical releases that they will uphold it? Or do you think this could just be some sort of wild ruse and we might end up being like, why didn't we let Netflix take it?
Yeah, you bring up a lot of good points. I think first I would say I think that this is probably good that this is happening.
Okay.
I will say, you guys, I know I keep telling you guys to read articles, but this one I would read for sure. Like, if you have the time, if you have to choose one, pick this article, read it. There was a lot of information about there on the finance end that I'm not expertise enough to understand.
Yeah, it went to like shares and how they're paying people. I was like, I don't really get that.
But if my comprehension is correct, and it might not be, Paramount is going into they're taking out a lot of debt, I guess, to pay this $110 billion for Warner Brothers or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like something like you guys got to read it, and maybe you'd understand it better. But it seems like one of the questions being brought up is, how are they going to pay for this after, like how they're going to pay for it after they acquired or something like that. I don't know. I could be getting that part wrong. You should check it out for that. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't know enough I don't understand it enough, but it seemed like there was some kind of factor there of something like that. However, when I think about the war between Netflix and Paramount and about Warner Brothers, I think the best way to look at it, or the way that I've been kind of looking at it, is like a custody battle between a mom and a dad for their child. And Netflix is kind of like the fun dad, where it's like, you know, the kid kind of wants to go with the fun dad, and the fun dad is like, whoa, like we could do some crazy stuff over here, but it's also like, we don't know if that's the best idea, and we don't know. It's more unpredictable. The dad might be more fun, but he might like not actually know how to properly raise the kid in this situation. He might start doing his own thing, or the kid might adapt his behaviors and stop, like, you know, it's kind of dangerous. Maybe it's good because the kid is fun and the dad is fun and there's a lot the kid can learn from that. But also, like, it's too unpredictable for us to say that this is a good decision. Jobs may be going out of the bit. Who knows? We don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like going with Paramount is more like going with the safe, responsible mother, in the sense where it's like, you know, the mom's going to care for the kid and has the assets and the characteristics to responsibly raise this kid. And, you know, and it's more predictable, but it's probably going to be like less fun. It's probably going to stick more to the status quo. Everyone's going to keep their jobs, or like, not everybody, but more jobs will be available to the film industry. More movies will be hitting the theaters, that kind of thing. And I guess that's the way I view it, is that, look, I think out of curiosity, I would have wanted to see them go with Netflix, but out of like what's probably best for everybody is that they go with Paramount. However, like you said, Paramount's library is building. According to Deadline, like you mentioned, I mean, Harry Potter, SpongeBob, Lord of the Rings. I mean,
everything. It's crazy.
Everything. I mean, their IP is that's a lot. And I read that and was thinking like, wow. I mean, like in 3 months from now, let's say Universal is like, we're done. Who wants to buy us? And Paramount is like, me. I think maybe we got to be like, no, like, you got enough, you know, like, because it is getting monopolistic to a point where it makes you wonder, like, how much can one studio own? But right now, I think this was the best decision. I'm excited to see what they have in store, what's to come, what they're going to do with the IPs of everything, because Warner Brothers and Max, they have been producing great things. And how they're going to handle this. We are in a big step here. And there's only we can do right now. Only thing we can do right now really is watch and just kind of see where it's going.
Now, I will say two things. One, just because I noticed one of the comments, when I'm talking about the sports stuff, it's combined sports rights that they will be able to distribute collectively across the platforms. Not like they have exclusive rights to the Olympics and everything. I don't know if I kind of misconstrued it. But this, I forgot to mention this, which alarmed some lawmakers, is that this merger will also have a massive portfolio of cable networks that include CNN and stuff, so like news and everything.
Deadline as well.
That's from Deadline. So that is a cause for concern. I will say that as well. Because I mean, and it said like many in the news business are kind of giving shifts or something at CBS since Allison's like acquired controls. So that is also interesting. A lot of cable networks are going to be under their domain across this combined domain. So again, a little scary monopoly. It's like, you know, are we really letting them get Boardwalk and Park Place? Or should we,
yeah, right.
maybe...
Well, I mean, but this is where we're at. So we'll have to see. I hope it turns out well. I hope it's a positive change. You know, one of the things, apparently, according to Deadline, I'm not sure who David Ellison was talking to. You'll have to read it in the quote. You know what? Let me just double check. I feel like I would have known. Maybe he said it to Deadline. But I do have a quote here from David Ellison, who is the CEO of Paramount. Let's see who he said this to. I believe he said this. He might have said it to Deadline, and that's why I didn't. I don't think it shows where he said this, other than maybe in the announcement of their agreement. But according to Deadline, David Ellison said, "From the very beginning, our pursuit of Warner Brothers Discovery has been guided by a clear purpose: to honor the legacy of two iconic companies while accelerating our vision of building a next-generation media and entertainment company." Paramount CEO David Ellison, Deadline.
Is he blowing smoke?
It's a little vanilla. It's a little vanilla.
Very, very vanilla. Yeah, I mean, it's very corporate.
It's very corporate. So we really don't know where they're going. I don't buy that completely. Not that I'm saying they're lying, but like I think that is like the perfect response.
Oh, of course, especially after like all the sentiments people had about like the Netflix deal originally. The vision's always been this. Well,
we'll see.
Sure.
So what are your guys' thoughts? Leave them down below. How do you feel about this merger, this agreement? Do you think that this is something you wanted to happen? Are you indifferent about it? Are you not excited about it at all? What are your guys' thoughts? Let's see. Razor's Edge says perfectly vetted response.
Very vetted.
Yeah, I mean, that probably went through a lot of...
That went through a lot of departments. They're like, we gotta... PR went crazy.
Rebel says, do we know how much of Warner Brothers catalog comes with this deal? Everything. They're owning Warner Brothers. As far as I understand, they're getting Warner Brothers. So whatever catalog Warner Brothers has becomes Paramount's. Jilsey says, I hope for a scathing South Park episode. That'll be crazy. Beat Bop says PR earning their pay.
Big time.
Yeah. Razor's Edge says he's blowing smoke.
Probably. I wouldn't be.
Smoke.
Wow. God, no faith, huh? You guys don't have faith in a corporate bigwig CEO, multi-billion dollar industry? What do you think he's just lying to the people? No, they care about us. They love us.
John says the Paramount option is like going with the drunk, spoiled older brother. Okay.
Well, I mean, damn.
I guess we have a different perspective. I understand the idea, but I feel like you got to understand Paramount is more than just some of the people in it, essentially.
Listen, John, I will say when we were talking about it on because John mentioned to me on stream the other night, he's not happy with this. He also said earlier in the stream, so if we get 30 garbage films, what are we getting? I was like, all right. I mean, it's and Matt left, but said, I don't trust David Ellison for various reasons, but I don't want to elaborate. I will say, was it John that touched on the money aspect? Someone mentioned it was like Netflix had the money to buy it, but Paramount didn't. And that's why it's like involving all these debts. And it's like they were almost bankrupt. And so how are they going to be able to pay this? Maybe they're hoping this is an injection of funds by utilizing I don't know. It's a great question, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But if they all go broke, it'd be funny if Netflix is like, I'll buy you all.
Yo, that's a move. If Netflix played it slow because they knew they were gonna go bankrupt and broke, and like, we'll get you both now, but we're not paying 110 bill.
That'd be crazy. Oh my God.
That would be nuts. That would be
crazy.
Oh, that would be a nightmare. Oh my God. That would be a nightmare.
God.
Wow.
Ethan says, I think the overall fallout is going to send us all to Tubi in the long run.
Yo, have you ever seen a Tubi movie? Them shits is insane. They are so bad. Dude.
Is it like one of those Hallmark movies?
Bro, no. I watched a movie with Tina called, this is on Tubi, The Grinch That Stole Bitches. Yes, so yeah.
I want to know more.
yeah, do you? Yeah, that's what we said. We were like, we're gonna watch this. I was like, what the fuck? Yo, they're really fun. They're really poorly produced a lot of time movies, but they're really funny.
My gosh. Robert Blum says 100 million for their entire catalog is not enough to cover this price, in my opinion. Well, I think most people would agree. That's why it's 110 billion.
Billion. Yeah, it ain't mills. Billion.
It ain't mills. It's bills.
That was a good movie.
If you meant to say bills, then just understand that it is so much worth it, apparently, that Netflix backed out because they weren't going to match that price.
They're like, nah, bro. Which is great. Which is really, I was surprised. Immediately walking away is kind of crazy. I don't know if Netflix, is it crazy?
It felt like Paramount was like, Warner Brothers, come to mommy, come here. and Warner Brothers was like, like crawling to Paramount, and then Netflix was like, hey, yo, you want to come over here? And then Warner Brothers was like, huh? And like turns around, and then Paramount's like, I got money, and Netflix is like,
I mean, Netflix offered 82.7 billion, so they upped them by 30. Okay. That's so maybe a 30 bill. No, I mean, I don't know. 30 billion. I mean, that's a big jump. That's crazy. 30 billion. But again, are they playing the long game? He kind of did they overbid?
You know what I think though, and this is just my speculation. Mm-hmm. Paramount really wanted Warner Brothers, and I think if Netflix clapped back and was like 120, Paramount would have been like 130, and it would have been like this for the next few months where it's like 140.
I will say though too, Warner Brothers or Netflix or sorry, Paramount did have to pay a breakup deal amount. They paid like $3 billion to Netflix.
Is that how that works?
I don't know how it works, but this isn't an article that we read, but this was from Variety, one of our sites that we use. Netflix said that Paramount paid a $2.8 billion breakup fee for the Warner Brothers Discovery deal.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, they still made money. They became richer, $3 billion richer, basically. But so if Paramount does go bankrupt doing this, Netflix literally won. They
get $3 billion in both companies. Yeah, I mean they got a $3 billion discount.
Dude, that's crazy, bro.
But, I mean, we'll never know. Listen, everybody, leave your thoughts down below. Seems like most of our chat is against this. I could be wrong. I know there's some stigma about David Ellison. I don't know him enough to have my own opinion. I just know that just keep in mind that not everything from a company is because of the CEO. Like a company is not just its CEO. There are a lot of good people that work at Paramount. So I think we should give it some faith and see how it goes. Maybe not even faith, just some hope. See how it goes. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Why don't I never put these comments down? Yeah, guys, leave a comment down below. We're super excited. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to be hopefully back on Friday. Unless you guys liked Saturday, maybe I'll do a poll and we'll see what you guys preferred.
We can always do Saturdays.
Because again, every single time, even if it's by just 2 people, we hit record high numbers again today with I think 29 concurrent viewers at one time. So thank you guys for keeping this show going, for keeping it rolling, for showing back up, and for having more people join, or at least for the people that have joined that are new. Thank you for stopping by. If any of you guys want to continue to see us tonight, we will be on Zay's Twitch. You want to tell them a little bit more about that, Zay?
Yes, guys, my Twitch is linked under any videos that you click on the channel. Make sure you tune on in, stop on by. It's super fun over there. Been playing some games with Cameron, got my other buddy Drew on there. We usually play a variety of stuff. Sometimes it's horror stuff. Sometimes it's really wacky, like out of this like weird game. Sometimes just like Uno. And we also play games with the chat as well. So make sure you stop on in. Always great to see y'all there. If you're interested, again, it will be linked down below. Probably be on there. Honestly, I mean, I'll probably be on there like almost right after this. But it'll be a good time.
It'll be an hour. I'm gonna need to take this
girl
out and Smokey out, and then I could probably come back after I eat something. But yeah, we'll be on tonight, guys.
I've never played Gears of War. I will say that, but Gears of War is a very great game franchise. I'm gonna get into them though. So we'll see.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week, or if you're popping on over to the stream, we will see you there. Keep an eye out. I am finishing up one of our edited reactions, so the next reaction on YouTube should post shortly. Stay tuned for that. Just so you guys know, it is going to be Superman 2. All right, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you later.
Peace.